Good morning, students. Good morning, all of you. Okay, now in this video, we are going to discuss some different type of transactions in which you have to identify twofold effects, means effect number one and effect number two. Okay, students, so we will practice some transactions in which there are twofold effects, but you have to write more than one sentence in either effect number one or in effect number two. Okay, student, now let's start with very simple transaction. Okay, transaction number one. Purchase goods of 10,000 from Ria. Okay, so we are buying goods from Ria, and what is the amount? 10,000. Okay, read further. Half amount is paid by cash and remaining by check. Okay, students, so now we are buying goods from Ria worth rupees 10,000, but we are paying only half amount by cash, and remaining half amount are paid by check. Okay, so there will be two part of 10,000. Half 5,000 will be given by cash to Ria, and remaining 5,000 will be given by check to Ria. Okay, in both the cases, the transaction is a cash transaction, means there is no credit transaction. We are paying full amount, so definitely it is a cash transaction. Clear? Okay, now let's decide effect number one, student. Every transaction has two effects. So first, we will decide effect number one. In effect number one, we have three choices, student. You can see just below. On left side, there are three choices. Debit what comes in, debit the receiver, and debit all expenses and losses. Now, student, which one you will select for effect number one? Now we are buying goods, students, so definitely goods comes in, isn't it? Okay, so in effect number one, we can write like this: goods comes in 10,000. Okay, so goods comes in 10,000. Okay, so which rule we have applied? Yes, debit what comes in. Rule of real account we have applied because goods is a real account. All goods and assets are real accounts. Okay, now it's time for effect number two, student, and that is the main, because there is a confusion in effect number two, because half amount is paid by cash and remaining half is paid by check. Okay, so student, what do you think? What we should write? In effect number two, we have three choices, but we have to select more than one this time. Okay. Now see, half amount we are paying by cash, so definitely cash goes out, we can write. Yes, we can write cash goes out. But student, cash goes out is only 5,000. We are giving only 5,000. Then what about remaining 5,000? Yes, that is paid by check. So we can write bank is the giver also. Okay, so in effect number two, we have to apply two different options. Credit what goes out we can apply because cash goes out, and credit the giver also we can apply because bank is giving remaining 5,000. So we can write like this: effect number 2a. If there is more than one sentence, student, you can apply a and b. Okay, so in effect number 2a, cash goes out, and effect number 2b, bank is the giver. Yes, so both the rules we have applied. Okay, so students, such type of effects are very important. You must learn how to write two sentences in particular effect in A and B format. Okay, so in effect number two, there are two sentences, student, and that is the main topic of this video. Okay, let's take one more example, student. Yes, here we go. Number two, sold goods of 10,000 to Maya. Okay, now we are selling goods. We are not buying goods this time. We are selling goods to Maya. Amount is same 10,000. Okay, now Maya is giving half amount in cash. Okay, so half amount means 5,000 we are receiving by cash, and remaining 5,000 we are receiving by check. Okay, students, so we have two choices this time. First, let's decide effect number 1, student. Effect number 1. Okay, so now what will be effect number 1? Now, student, we are selling goods. Okay, so goods goes out. That will be our effect number 2. But we are thinking about effect number 1. Okay, so in effect number 1, debit what comes in rule is applicable here because cash we are receiving, but at the same time we are also receiving check. So we can also write bank is the receiver. Okay, so we have to write two sentences, student, in effect number 1. Yes, cash comes in because we are receiving cash. 5,000 we are receiving by cash, and another 5,000 we are receiving by check. Okay, so bank becomes the receiver. Okay, so we have applied debit what comes in rule as well as debit the receiver. Both are applicable. Done. And in effect number 2, there is only one sentence on what goes out. Credit what goes out. Goods goes out. Yes. So in effect number 2, we can write goods goes out. Okay, so this is how we can combine more than one rule in one effect. In effect number 1, you can see there are two sentences. Cash comes in and bank is the receiver. So it is possible, students, some these type of transactions we can manage. Now number 3, student, number 3 is also very interesting. Paid rent of 6,000. Okay, so we are paying rent of 6,000, but out of 6,000, student, 4,000 we are paying by cash and remaining by check. Okay, 2,000 we are paying by check. So we can try. First of all, effect number 1. So in effect number 1, I think there is only one sentence because rent we are paying, so it is our expense. Debit all expenses and losses. That rule will be very helpful here. Yes, rent is the expense. So we have applied rule number 3. Debit all expenses and losses. Rule of nominal account. Okay, so no more sentences in effect number 1. Now effect number 2. So in effect number 2, I think there will be more than one sentence because cash goes out, we are giving cash, but at the same time we are giving check also. So bank will become the giver. Our cash balance and bank balance both are get affected. So in effect number 2, we will write more than one sentence. Let's start with number 1. Cash goes out. Yes, 4,000 we are giving cash and 2,000 is a check. So bank will become the giver. Bank is the giver here. Okay, so we have applied two rules, student. You can see credit what goes out as well as credit the giver. Now one thing as a student you should remember here, the total of effect number 1 and 2 should be same. Clear? If in effect number 1 there is amount 6,000, then in effect number 2 definitely there are two sentences, but if you add them it will become 6,000. So that is a rule of accounts. The total of debit effect must be equal to total of credit effect. Okay. Now number 4, student, number 4, withdrawn goods of 6,000 and cash 4,000 by the owner for personal use. This is very interesting, student. Now you know that whenever owner takes anything from business, then it is a drawing. It is an example of drawing. Here owner is taking two things from the business. See, he is withdrawing goods also, and at the same time he is withdrawing cash also. ઓકે સ્ટુડન્ટ બિઝનેસમાંથી ઓનર અહીંયા બે વસ્તુ ઘરે લઈ જાય છે, ગુડ્સ બી લઈ જાય છે 6,000નો, and at the same time he is taking cash also. Okay, so in effect number 1, we have only one choice because owner is the receiver. Okay, in effect number 1 there will be only one sentence, owner is the receiver. Okay, and what he is receiving? He is receiving goods and cash, both the things, and the total of both of them becomes 10,000. Okay, so total is 10,000, students. So we can write 10,000 in effect number 1. Owner is the receiver. Okay, now in effect number 2, we have to write two sentences because So an owner is withdrawing two things, goods and cash. So goods goes out, we can also write, and we can also write cash goes out. Okay, so two things goes out. Credit what goes out rule is there, but there are two things which is going out. Which two things? One, goods goes out, we can write goods goes out, student. Okay, and at the same time we can also write cash goes out, and total of both of them becomes 10,000. Okay, students, so sometimes it is quite possible that we have to write more than one sentences, either in effect number 1 or in effect number 2. You have to learn it, student. And now, fifth transaction, sold machines to Kirtan. Okay, we are selling machine to Kirtan. The price of machine is 6,000, student. Okay, but he is paying only half amount, student. He paid half amount by cash, means 3,000 he is paying by cash. But student, no mention about remaining 3,000. Okay, if you think nothing is specified that what happened to remaining 3,000, are we receiving it or not? સ્ટુડન્ટ કાંઈ ન કીધું હોય એટલે સમજી જવાનું કે બાકીના 3,000 હજી લેવાના બાકી છે, એટલે આપણે અડધા પૈસા આવી ગયા છે સ્ટુડન્ટ, પણ અડધા હજી લેવાના બાકી છે. એટલે અડધો ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન છે ને એ કેશ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન છે, પણ બાકીનો અડધો ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન ક્રેડિટ છે, ઉધારમાં. એટલે આપણે એમ માનવાનું કે 3,000 રૂપિયા એણે આપી દીધા છે, પણ બાકીના 3,000 નથી આપ્યા, એટલે એ આપણે એને ઉધારમાં વેચ્યું મશીન, એમ સમજવાનું છે. ઓકે, તો ઇફેક્ટ નંબર 1માં સ્ટુડન્ટ આપણે બે સેન્ટેન્સ લખવા પડશે. એક તો આપણે જે 3,000 મળે છે આપણને, એટલે એમાં ડેબિટ વોટ કમ્સ ઇનનો રૂલ અપ્લાય થશે સ્ટુડન્ટ. યસ, કેશ કમ્સ ઇન, વી આર રિસીવિંગ કેશ, so we can write cash comes in 3,000. And at the same time, student, we are not receiving rupees 3,000. તો એ 3,000 માટે આપણે એમ માનવાનું કે આપણે એને ઉધારમાં મશીન વેચ્યું છે. ઓકે, એટલે ડેબિટ ધ રિસીવર, એ આપણી પાસેથી મશીન રિસીવ કરે છે, એ ઉધારમાં રિસીવ કરે છે, એટલે એ રિસીવર થાય. કોઈ પણ માણસ આપણી પાસેથી કાંઈ ઉધારમાં લે એટલે ડેબિટ ધ રિસીવર રૂલ અપ્લાય થાય સ્ટુડન્ટ. Okay, so in effect number 1b, we can write Kirtan is the receiver because he is receiving half machine on credit. So debit the receiver. Okay, student. આજનો રિસીવર એ કાલનો ગીવર થાય સ્ટુડન્ટ. કીર્તન અત્યારે આપણી પાસેથી ઉધારમાં લઈ જાય છે, તો કાલે એ આપણને પાછું બી આપશે. Okay, so cash comes in, then Kirtan is the receiver. Okay, so effect number 1 has two sentences, but in effect number 2 there is no problem, student. Credit what goes out. Yes, what goes out? We are selling machine, so we can write machine goes out. Okay, student, so I am sure that you have understood all these transactions. These transactions are totally different, student. Clear? Means in these type of transactions we have to write more than one sentences, either in effect number 1 or in effect number 2. But these transactions are not that difficult, student. If you focus, if you see it again and again, definitely you can learn. Okay, student, take care.